best DC film since Dark Knight. Let's
Right.
stop that conversation.
Yeah,
I saw in the fields that first day. They was like, "Oh, this is the greatest Superman film ever." Like we forgot Donner. Like we forgot Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Like, nah, let's not do that. You
Right.
need your credibility with that. Like, let's put this film where it is. And
Right.
this is not a quintessential Superman film.
Mhm.
And I saw it twice. It's not a quintessential Superman film. It is more of a jump starter for a new DC world. And that's fine. That's fine to me. How does it land? It's making money and it has a audience score. So we're gonna play the game with that, right? That's
Right.
where I'm at
Right.
with that. And we'll talk about personal films in just a moment. So let's catch up with the chat real quick. And I'm gonna throw some things at Vega and then we're gonna get into it. Have you seen Vega as I kind of scan here? Have you seen the numbers out there? Have you at least seen that?
I have seen some numbers out there. Yes, I have seen some
Okay.
numbers.
So according to okay, let's just throw it up here and then because I want you to kind of absorb that for a moment and then we're gonna get into some stuff here. So I want to direct people's attentions to the bottom tweet, the quoted tweet, film updates. At the bottom says James Gunn Superman reportedly opened up to 123 million domestically box office. Right. So that's the States. And they're saying this is the best opening weekend for any Superman first franchise film. And then you have number one shield on Twitter here, Blu-ray Angel. I don't know why I keep sharing this dude, but okay. He's out there. He says all the haters can thank themselves for helping promote the movie to reach this achievement. Best opening for any Superman first film. This was Destiny. James Gunn shots fired. I don't know the hashtag. What is that? So the number.
I think he missed I think he meant to put a hashtag there. I think
I think you wanted the hashtag right there, right? So let's focus on the numbers because I know the chat's gonna get crazy with this tweet right here. But 123 domestic includes. I want to slow walk this for people.
Right.
123 domestic. And again, first off, let me be very clear when I say this because I got mixed audiences today, so I gotta address all sides.
You gotta.
Anything over 120 million is a good opening.
That's a good opening.
So let's be clear. That's money. Okay, someone give you 120 million, you're not gonna it's not 130. No, you're gonna take that 120. So let's stop fronting. Let's stop fronting with that. That is a good number. All right. Now, where does this number come from? 123. You had the Amazon Tuesday screenings. I was there Tuesday, so I contributed to this 123. And then you got the Thursday preview numbers, and then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you have one screening on Tuesday because I have people gonna say stuff in the chat. I want to be very clear as we go forward. I'm fair all sides on this. I know people ain't used to that. I know, but Tuesday had one screening across the board. Everyone went to the theaters 7, 8 o'clock at night, wherever time zone you was at. You had one screening of Superman. And then Thursday you had the whole day.
Right.
Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's your 120. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel in 2013 had a limited Thursday opening.
Right.
And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
Which actually equaled 128 million.
Right.
Zack Snyder. Now, if you subtract the Thursday, 12 million, which was limited. I was there Thursday. I was talking about my experience when I went to go see Man of Steel opening day.
Yeah.
It was a limited screening.
Yep.
And then you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you got 12 million from the previews for Man of Steel in 2013. And from, what was it, James Gunn Superman, you had like 20 million. So it's already an unfair fight with that. But the point, we're trying to say the numbers.
Right.
They are highlighting 123 and not acknowledging the 128. What does that tell you, Vega? I want to get you a chance to kind of get your thoughts out there. What is that telling you that they're not really pushing? They're trying to say, oh, no, 123 is the greatest ever. When 128 is more than 123. Like, so what do you think with that?
Right. I mean, so I'm not surprised. I'm not
Mhm.
surprised. I feel like this goes back to kind of like what the playbook's always been, going back to, I guess you could say, after Justice League, once it was
Mm.
clear that they were trying to move forward from what technically was the success of what Snyder was doing, right? Like, and then there was these narratives that were created, these weird fake narratives, and I think I don't know if it was the last live we did or the last stream, I mean,
Mhm.
or recording, I should say. I don't know if it's the one that we last did or prior to that, where I made the statement that it's funny to hear people still talk about BVS theatrical
Yeah.
release as if it was a failure, considering how well it actually did in the box office.
Mhm.
Um, so I feel like we're just looking at that still, but now it's kind of like ramped up again, because now there's a new, now that they're starting fresh with this new universe they're trying to build. I think that's a factor. I think also you have to take into account people. I think for whatever reason, and this is like a weird thing, but for some reason people are very how do you say, like, they people can't pivot. They don't know how to pivot
Ah.
on their objective or subjective truths. You know what I'm saying? So like they have to stay true to what they claimed, rather than just saying like, okay, well, hey, look, this is the real truth.
Mhm.
I think that's a factor. I think the fact that also, like I've said before, um, this is a new thought. And again, I know some people in the chat are probably going to get upset when I say this, but but what I will say is this is DC slash or Warner Brothers slash DC. Let's just actually call it that, because I think if
Mhm.
DC before without Warner Brothers intervening, I think they actually would have made better choices. But let's just say Warner Brothers
Mm.
DC, as far as films are concerned, uh, they've been obviously trying to bring in Marvel directors, bring this whole like Marvel esque type feel to their projects, right? Um, and then all that to say that I think they finally cracked the code, so to speak, in the sense of like, I think they brought James Gunn where they thought like, okay, this is going to do better for us than obviously I think Joss Whedon did for us, whatever.
Mhm.
And which I think that could be true. And then it would appear that they're now using the same playbook of Disney, and I don't know if, and I'll explain what I'm getting at with this, Disney slash
Mhm.
Marvel, where it appears that there is a heavy, I don't know what kind of payload or type of incentives or whatever the hell, that it just seems like there's people here that are, whether it's influencers, whether it's critics, whether it's bloggers and things of that nature, that it's heavily trying to bat for this film. And I'm not saying that
Yeah.
it's again, not to, I can't speak for the film necessarily on a personal level of like how good it is or how bad it is, because I technically haven't seen it. But just from the mixed reviews I've seen, and I'm saying, when I say mixed reviews, it's mixed reviews. There's people that love it, there's people that hate it, there's people in the middle.
Mhm.
Um, and so that tells me I can't. That kind of already tells me I can't believe those that are highly praising this film because of the mixed reviews on the other end, right? It'd be one thing
Let
if there was
me
like a
before you go
hyperbolic.
for I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
go
Vic.
ahead.
Before you go forward with that, like, because the again the greatest ever reviews, like, now I can't take those seriously. You saying
Yeah,
they're better than Diner and stuff like
that's
that,
crazy.
but I want to be clear though, because I got to stay on code, which is as
Hmm.
far as the data I use as cinema
Hmm.
score, it has an A minus cinema score, meaning the majority of the audience actually did like this film opening weekend. So I just
Right.
want to put
Oh,
that out
right.
there, right?
Right.
Now, we're not saying this is the greatest film. I'm just going off again that data. Like,
That
I just want
data.
to throw
Yeah.
that to you
Yes,
and
hundred
do your
percent.
thing.
No,
Yeah,
hundred
yeah,
percent.
yeah.
So like,
Okay.
and I was gonna get that. I don't want, again. I'm not trying to undermine anything, right?
No.
This is my personal. I'm speaking more from a personal, and then I'm gonna get into
Mhm.
the
For sure,
more
for
like,
sure.
yeah, the
Before you
analytical.
saw the film, because again, I just want to just keep that on
Yes,
code, like what we're
exactly,
doing. Yeah, go ahead.
exactly, 100%. So this is me basing just everything that I'm seeing as far as critiques are going out there.
Hmm.
This is how I'm gauging it, right?
Hmm.
But granted, yes, when I'm looking at even scores like that, it's like, again, not surprised though. I never like me and you've already discussed
Yeah.
this whole Superman thing for a while now. Like,
Yep.
and obviously on my end, I said I don't think James Gunn is going to do a bad job in the sense of like delivering what he can deliver because he's going to deliver what he always delivers, right? And if that's
It's
what
a
you
James
like,
Gunn film.
yeah, it's a James
It's
Gunn
very,
film.
it's very
And if
much a
that's what you
James
like,
Gunn
you're going to
film.
like this film. And I knew that to be true even then, And that was always my concern is that I didn't want this to be a James Gunn film, particularly because of the character and the characters in it. That was my own opinion. But that I knew that for a fact there is James Gunn fans, people that love the way he does film, and they're gonna like this
Yeah.
film for sure.
Yeah.
So again,
Oh,
the
James Gunn
was
fan,
for.
you are happy throughout this film. If you're a James Gunn film
Yeah, right.
fan, you're
you're
gonna
happy,
like all
right?
this.
And that's what's coming clear to me, So when it comes to these, but like something like this right here, with this specific, I will say this: I'll give credit where credit is due, right? And I'll say this: he's right about one thing. All the talk about the film prior to its release did help promote the film. That's just a fact, right? Like, and I'm not going to say that it played a major part, but it played a part. I'll give it that. I'll give credit where credit is due. Again, like as me and you discussed last time, the marketing went hard. These last the past couple of weeks before the film came out. So it's and that goes back to my overall or thing that I was just saying earlier is it's clear to me that I don't know if it's that Gunn, since he worked with Disney/Marvel, he knows how to now maneuver this, but they're going hard on marketing. They're going hard on who they're choosing to help promote the film as far as like influencers, critics, to protect the film. He's moving the way now Disney moves with Marvel and their
the Gunn's bringing that energy, right?
He's bringing that Marvel over here. Now granted, I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. Like take that how you want. I'm just giving you the information, right? Like I'm just giving you the observation. I should say actually.
That's all. Yeah, that's all we're doing.
That's all I can do is give you the observation, and that's what it looks like to me. Whether that's right or wrong, I mean, like.
Hey, the numbers are in. Like, and that's I'm about results, right?
Yeah, and look, and the numbers
are there.
Now I'll say this though. I will say this. I still think it's too premature to really. Say like, oh, because it reached this level, it's going to do some sort of like high ass number. Okay, I think that's still too premature to do that, and I'm gonna explain why.
You still need the second week, but go ahead.
You still need the second week. Is my whole point.
I want to cut you off with that.
Opening weekend, we all can agree it's a success for its opening weekend.
120 is 120.
120 is 120.
There's no way to kind of say.
Yeah, and honestly, even if you reached 100, I probably would have said, well, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? Like for
100 is 100.
100 is 100. So that's actually not bad for an opening weekend.
Marvel would love that, right? And that's why I said online, Vega. Again, I don't want to cut you off too much here, but it's like, Marvel came out with Captain America: Brave New World did 80. Thunderbolts did like 70. They would love 120.
No, I think Captain America actually did 100 its opening weekend, which was surprising. And I think the last numbers for it was like 109. 109 million. If because I googled it because I was curious. I'm like,
it's all good.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I wonder what was the latest, like, what was the most recent good opening for Marvel movies? And I'm gonna explain what I'm getting to right here because when I started seeing the numbers, I'm like, okay, these are some pretty good numbers for Superman, whatever. And then obviously once I knew we were gonna get into the discussion, I'm like, okay, well let me, as me and you both do, like I want to look at all angles here to see.
Always. I just want to make it very clear, just for a second, because again, because I want to keep this fair on all sides here. Captain America: Brave New World domestic opening 88 million.
Okay, domestic. Okay, maybe because I googled.
Maybe there's some international numbers with that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or I just put what did it make opening weekend is what I put. I didn't put
and that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I just want to keep thinking when I say opening numbers 120 Superman, I'm talking about domestic.
Yeah,
because I want to be very honest with people. International numbers, that's frosting.
Yes, that's frosting. Exactly.
It's about the message. So again,
100%.
Vegas, you already know how I do this. I'm just saying.
No, you're good. You're
the
good.
numbers
so,
up.
But yeah, so what I googled was what it made just opening weekend. And what it gave me was 100 million. By the end of the weekend, it was like 109 million on its opening weekend, right?
Shout out to Keith in the chat. What's good?
Which I thought was like, okay, that's actually pretty good because so it was fun. Okay.
So if we're talking about domestic opening Captain America, we're saying
Captain America was 8
versus 120 Superman.
Yeah.
So and that's why I said the Marvel thing. I said Marvel, man, they
would
would
love to see
love to
that
have
domestically.
these
Yes.
Superman numbers right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm
100%.
gonna give credit where it's due. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give
Oh,
credit
you
where it's
have to.
due
You
to
have
Superman
to.
film.
Yes.
But there is another conversation over there. So like I
Yes.
said,
No,
not
100%.
to try to correct nothing. I just wanted to make
No.
sure that's
I'm
out
glad. No,
there,
I'm glad you did,
know,
because I
on
mean, again,
audio.
that's
You know what I'm saying?
I googled what I googled, but see,
Yeah.
you can't always trust the
Oh
internet.
yeah. People, you never know. Sometimes, yeah, when
Right.
those
You never know.
those results pop up on you. But yeah, just to be clear, Captain America: Brave New World,
So
less than
80
90
domestically.
million.
Okay. So that's
And
a big difference.
yeah, yeah,
Um. So, but even with that, let's just say like big
yeah.
difference. Now, but if it looking at just the opening weekend, if it
Hate
did
it.
make so over 100, right? I would say
There's no
well, look,
credit.
it's not just Gun, right? Like that's the
I,
other thing. Like it's not just Gun, right? It's you got to give it to that marketing team. You
yeah.
know,
Oh no, for sure.
they went hard. You know, so it's but that's that.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with what you're seeing, but I know if I didn't bring it up live, people would say, "Oh, you
No,
let
100. No, you're
Vegas say
good. You
this." So
no,
that's
it's no.
why I
That's a
did
great
that.
point. I still
Yeah,
would argue though that they're not even argue, but I think it's worth looking at that. If let's just say the opening weekend for Captain America: Brave New World was still over
Mm-hmm.
100, which is still a good opening weekend, right? Just overall, I would say at the end of its turnout, though, it was still interesting that with a decent opening weekend, it didn't
Okay,
do
fair,
the numbers it should have made, right? And that's
true,
the point I'm trying to make here is like an
got you.
opening weekend is great, but does that say anything for what we're gonna see in the second weekend, the weekend after that? You know,
Second weekend matters, right? Captain America: Brave New World, which had not the best cinema score,
right?
as well,
Which
because
is yeah,
the cinema
I thought that, which was
score,
an interesting point too, right? And
yeah,
that was
is
something else that I did look at because I'm like, all
cinema
right, well,
score is a buffer, and I
yeah,
think people take it like, oh, if you have a great cinema score, you're going to make a lot of money. Nah, you got to come out of the gate with some money. Then the cinema score will buffer you up, or it will. You know, Captain America: Brave New World was a B minus cinema score, which anything under a B plus,
right,
you're going to tank. You're going to do 60% or less
right,
going forward. Now the thing was James Gunn Superman. He has an
right,
A minus cinema
right,
score with a 120 opening. So it fares good, but we still got to wait and see the
right,
second weekend.
right.
Yeah.
Right. And then so again, that's something I thought was worth discussing because again, it's and again, I'm not saying that means it's not going to do well. No, because on
Right.
the au contraire, it would appear that it's doing okay for right now. It's doing good on the opening weekend, good cinema score for the opening weekend. I mean, again, we still have yet to see that second weekend, which again does really matter.
I got
And
one second, because again, we got to be clear when people again, I see a lot of stuff online and people come up with their different numbers and figures. I've been covering box office for 3+ years now, and it's people that the late great Mikey Sutton introduced me to box office exhibitors and how numbers work. So I want to be very clear when I present numbers, and when you come in my chat, say I don't chase y'all online. Y'all go out there and y'all post what y'all want. You come into my thread, I gotta correct you. Okay, okay. Don't do this. Okay, so. We got Dave Miller here saying 217 million isn't a good opening. Men of Steel did 128 domestic. Let's be very fair, because there's different conversations going on here,
right,
and this is what I want to educate people on.
right,
The Superman brand can only do so much.
right.
So if we're going to say 217 million, which is what James Gunn Superman has did worldwide, so this is domestic plus international. What did Man of Steel do in 2013? Superman has what we're learning. If y'all want to learn this, if y'all want to stay in y'all dumb shit, y'all could do that. But if y'all want to learn what's going on, Superman has a ceiling.
Yeah,
that's what we're learning.
That's
from
what we're
Man
learning.
of Steel to now.
Yep.
So all I'm asking Dave Miller before you comment anything else, what was Man of Steel's global
Global.
box office back then. And I just want to back off of that because I know Vega, you wasn't talking about that.
No,
So
but that, hey,
but don't just throw stuff out here
right.
haphazardly because I do this every week. All right. But go ahead with you because you're saying, which is fair, you can have your let's be clear again. 120 plus domestic opening is good.
It's good.
Let's not
Especially right now.
fall.
It's good.
Yeah. Exactly. You got because let's be fair. 2013, you're in the middle of the Avengers run. Box office going crazy.
Yep.
Let's just be real.
There was a time period where it was just, it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? That was then
right?
what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, though, what are we looking at?
Then post-COVID,
Right.
fatigue, whatever's going on right now, that is a factor.
Yeah.
Let's be real out here.
Yeah.
Marvel would love if Captain America did 120. Okay? So let's not act like this ain't real numbers. Right? Now, if we want to compare it to Man of Steel, I'm with you with that. We can go there. It compares, right? But I can't go with you if you're being dishonest out there. You people out there trying to do these agendas. That's how people making you look crazy on Twitter because y'all not coming with facts, right?
Right.
When I came with facts, when I was like, oh, Ben's coming back, Henry's coming back, there's a chance for Snyder. Those are real things happening, right? This ain't made up stuff that we're doing right here. So I just want to make it very clear. I don't want to pick on nobody, but it's real things we can come in here with this. But don't come with fake numbers. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right. But anyway, go ahead. What you doing, man?
No, you're good. I mean,
argument when it's falsities. But go ahead.
Yeah, no. I mean, look. In the end of the day, these are all valid points that I think to consider. Again, when we're looking at the numbers now, you have to take into account what is doing now. What a successful film looks like nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Compared to you can't compare them technically. You could the best comparison maybe is something like Man of Steel to this one, right? Because it's Superman. Sure, okay, that's probably good to compare. But to compare to like just an overall like what a good film looked like or a great opening looked like back then with such a high number to now, it's like now we know that there's a bit of dishonesty there because it's like to pretend like the theater in general, right, as an overall industry is doing the same. Nah, it's not.
This is wild. First off, shout out to Agent 47. He's not trolling. He's saying what someone else said. When you come out with a film in the world right now, you want to make money here,
100%.
In the States.
The money is here. Like,
so anyone saying the states don't matter, and you're saying, oh, France and all this, again, no diss to any other country out there, even China. No. You got to make it here first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we always say, here in the States, you make it in New York, you make it anywhere. You got to make it here first.
Yeah.
Before you make it any other place in the world. So anyone telling y'all out there that domestic doesn't matter to international, I know I sound like a total American saying this, but really, you got to make it here first.
No, look, it's not even like that's funny though.
Stop that.
Yeah. Is there an exception to that?
I'm just saying, man.
For that to be stated, where have we ever seen that was the case? Is there an example for that?
There never is. There never was a case where
something like hold on. When was it ever?
The States?
Yeah, like show me that doesn't matter. Like where can we look back and say, look at this movie that did poorly in the States but did so well worldwide that it was a success. I don't know a movie. I don't know.
Because this is my thing, Vegas. Like, obviously I'm a Snyder fan and a lot of Snyder fans watch this channel, and I don't want y'all to be delusional out there. Y'all getting destroyed on Twitter talking like that Kevin dude. Like y'all getting totally like flipped over. Like when you're saying, oh, domestic doesn't matter. Y'all look dumb out there, bro. I'm sorry.
You can't say shit like that.
You can't come with real weapons, man. Don't come with that fake stuff.
No. So, you coming with a water gun with that shit. You know
like come on. Now, come with a machete or something at least. Like don't come out there. Oh, the domestic doesn't matter. You're gonna get sprayed up immediately
Right.
out there on Twitter.
Right.
John Wonder says, "Man, is still open in box office." Yeah, and this in Vegas. This is the point
Right.
that I was trying to say. And see, everyone else going with this other goofy stuff. It's like,
Right.
bro, go with what you have. You
Go
have an angle
with
right
what
here
actually
saying
matters. Yeah.
Man of Steel with the preview numbers is better than James Gunn's Superman. Start there.
Start there.
Don't do this dumb shit, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
Don't do that. Yeah.
Come on.
It's not gonna hold water.
I'm just saying. Go ahead with you saying. I'm sorry, man.
No. I mean, I pretty much, that's all I really had to say was like, I think again, like, I think for anybody to get too excited right now on the opening weekend, that's kind of premature. Let's not jump the gun just yet. And that's on any side, whether it's that you think that it's failed, whether it's you think that it's doing well. Chill out. It's just the opening weekend. Like let's get to that second weekend. Yeah. You know what I mean? Let's get to that second weekend, and we'll see how it does.
And that's where I talk with projections, because again, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, will this film really have a good opening?" And I had pretty good indicators. I was like, I was trying to prepare y'all. I was like, "Yo, this film's going to do numbers." I mean, I'm just saying, like, you may not want to down that hill. It's going to do like The Flash, and do 60 million or less. Right. It's like, nah, it was tracking pretty good for a good month. Yeah. And I was trying to tell y'all every week, like, no, get ready. This film's going to do something.
Even I switched my opinion on that. Again, you have to know when to pivot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, again, what like I told you the last time. When I saw that marketing go as hard as they started going, I'm like, okay, this changes a bit, because now they're marketing it the way we discussed. Which again, like I said last time, like I think they watched they watched that episode because it just seemed like the moment we talked about it, you released that video, and then all of a sudden marketing changed. I don't know, like too much of a coincidence, but
the marketing did change for sure.
It did change right after that. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know, man. I like to say
it is what it is. Again, we're trying to deal with real numbers. You talking about your last comment? I didn't see your last comment. You can super chat though. Go super chat, and it'll pop up for me. But as far as with this here, it's saying 123 James Gunn Superman, and just by doing math, Zack Snyder Superman did 128. Yep. So how are y'all gonna come out there and say this is the greatest Superman opening ever when we can see the data?
The data's out
there. We can see like the joke's on you, baby. I'm sure he's a troll, but it fits my narrative right now. That is 128 domestically. Vega, what does that say to you? Because I mean, like we know Warner Bros. Want to win the headlines, they want to do all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But what does that say to you? Where you got influencers like this, and I'm sorry, Joe, I'm just saying I felt like you was a troll. I'm sorry, but it's like it fits what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
is that why do you push this? Like, oh, this is the greatest Superman open ever. Man, it still happened,
right,
in 2013.
I think the reality is they're still trying to bury
Warner
that.
Bros. Or go ahead,
yeah. I think they're still trying to bury that. I think because again, it's what. You somehow here's the reality. You obviously they made the choices they made for James, to bring in James Gunn, and now they're doing whatever he wants. But the reality is you still have no good excuse to why you did this. You still have no good excuse. You have no firm reasoning to why you chose to leave the Snyderverse, or like I'm just using a general term there, but like. Right. What Zack Snyder was doing, you really have no reason still. Not a good reason, my whole point. You have your reasons, but you don't have a good reason to why you decided to do that still to this day. And then especially once Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, like you still don't have even a good reason to why you chose not to follow that through.
Vega, define that though. What you're saying? Are you saying because the numbers are so similar, or what do you? Why are you saying is no? Because they got the same money, right? They got in 2013.
So
give or take 5 or 10 million, right?
That. Right. Let's dive deeper into that because and you kind of alluded to something like this a little earlier, right? So, interestingly enough, right? We can all obviously, like you said, the data's there. Man of Steel opening did better. That's just a fact, right?
Right. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But that's just a fact. Yeah. It did better. Yeah. But essentially, they're two different films, right? And I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
talking
for
about
sure.
style. I'm talking about where the
We're
story
talking
is.
about we're talking about atmospheres. Like
Yeah,
James
yeah,
Gunn is
yeah,
way
yeah,
over here,
yeah.
like
You know what I'm saying? Like we're
and Zack Snyder's more close to the diner actually
yeah,
than
100%, right?
James Gunn. Yeah.
But even just story wise, right? Like what I'm saying
Right.
is Man of Steel was an origin story. Superman is not. Like the
Is
new,
that James Gunn
it's
Superman is not an origin
it's
story
not
at
an origin
all.
story
Like
at all.
yeah, at all.
So that's that, right? So
Mhm.
if we're going to actually be honest with ourselves, right? Even on that note, right? Like, okay, Man of Steel was an origin story. It was introducing Superman on a new level and successfully did so to the audience back when that came out. It's we probably have more. This is gonna sound crazy, but again, this is and you know me, so I'm always just looking at different things. I'm always playing devil's advocate. I'm always gonna see different things to like look at things by perspectives, angles, and all that, right? But it would probably stand more true to say that as far as where the story is for Superman, you actually probably have a better argument to make that Superman falls in line with BVS as far as where the story is and what it's doing. As far as like, it's not just bringing you Superman, but it's introducing a bunch of other characters at the same time that are existing in this universe and introducing this whole universal, like the story that's about to unfold, this whole universe. BVS actually was that for Zack Snyder to James
Mhm.
Superman, right?
Mhm.
And whether people want to admit this or not, the reality is Batman versus Superman is a Superman movie, right?
It
So
uh, according to Jail Lever, right? That was the sequel to Man of Steel. Yeah.
that exactly. So it is a Superman movie. So again, when you're talking about the most successful Superman movie of all time, what are we actually talking
Hmm.
about here? Is it Man of Steel or
Hmm.
is it Batman versus Superman? And if we're
Hmm.
honest with ourselves, it's actually Batman versus Superman
See,
because
that's wild. That's wild right there, Vegas.
but
That's wild right there because
it's
then you're saying that's the greatest DC opening ever. The Batman
that's
vs Superman did 166. That was better than Dark Knight,
that's what I'm
right?
saying. That's all I'm trying to say. And
So
that's
that's a
like
fair assessment right there. That's a fair
and it's
assessment.
based off of just facts. Like it's again,
Mhm.
I'm not. That's not
Mm.
me saying this. This was said by Joe Oliva, Zack Snyder. Like
Yeah.
BVS is the Superman sequel. It's a Superman movie, right? That introduced other characters
Hey,
the,
th-
the
this is the
same way
film.
Superman right now is
Must
doing.
there be a Superman? That was in
Must
BVS.
that was BVS?
That was-
Okay.
that's a fair
Hey,
assessment right
hey,
there.
there is, there
and
is,
again, it did better than Dark Knight. And
and it
honestly,
did
no
better than
one's
Dark Knight.
saying
Yeah.
back then, "Oh, this is the best film since Dark Knight." It did better than Dark Knight.
Hmm.
BVS did, and let's just be fair with that.
Hmm.
Because if y'all want to put up there like, "Oh, this is the again," on the surface, I'm saying, "Oh, James Gunn, you started your universe. You got the numbers, you got the headlines. You're gonna get Supergirl next summer, and we'll see what happens." I
We'll
mean,
see what happens.
I want to push people towards it because like a lot of people was like, "Oh, if Superman bombs and all this," I was like, "No." I knew it was going to do numbers a month ahead. I was like, "No,
Mhm.
the tracking's crazy. Warner Bros.
Mhm.
Going crazy with marketing." So they're saying they didn't spend that much. They really did spend a lot.
Right, right, right.
Oh,
Which
this
is what's
film. I'm
crazy
not
to
going
me
to get
because like,
into
why
that.
y'all still
Not
lying?
even gonna get
Why?
into that. But I'll give you to that, Gun. You got a great marketing team
They
now,
did.
and you got the opening numbers, you got the headlines, and
Mhm.
so you're gonna get to next year.
Mhm.
Anyone pushing against it, I'm sorry. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna bring it to reality. But if we're gonna say this is the best Superman opening ever, we gotta acknowledge BVS wasn't a proper follow up. It literally started off with scenes of Man of Steel in the beginning
Mhm.
lining up with with Bruce Wayne running up. Like it literally did that.
Yeah,
So if
he
we're
did
gonna
that.
be fair, BVS is a Superman film, and it's still the biggest DC opening ever,
Yeah.
whether you like the film or not. I mean, that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And look,
you
here's the
put out
thing:
there.
like whether or not BVS was supposed to be the third installment for Superman or not, like again, it's still a Superman movie, right? Like, because I
Yeah.
think that was something that came out not too long ago, where it was like obviously Zach had intended to do a Man of Steel 2, where Brainiac was the villain, and then
Mhm.
technically BVS was supposed to be the third installment, the Death of Superman, right? And then the resurrection of Superman was going to come in the Justice League storyline, right? So again, BVS is a Superman movie. It always was. It always, that's what it was. That's what it is. Like whether you like
It's
it
a
or not,
Superman story.
it's a Superman story. It
Yeah.
is. It just,
I mean, you have the death of
is.
Superman. You have the death of Superman in BVS.
You have the death of Superman in
Gunn
that
would
movie.
love to do a death of Superman. I'm just gonna throw it out there to y'all. He would love to build this up to do a death of Superman his own. So,
For sure.
and Warner Brothers wants him to do that. Warner Brothers Discovery wants him to do that as well. So I just want to throw that out there. It'll be a couple films down the line though, but so if we're gonna be real with numbers, if we're gonna talk real numbers, I found it very disingenuous this morning seeing accounts like this saying this is the best opening ever. Now, to be clear, if you put in the global numbers, this Superman does edge out a little bit Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. But if we're talking domestic, because again, it's all love. I got UK viewers. I got people from different countries. All I'm saying is that the box office starts here domestically. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
I mean, look, and I'll say this though, that wouldn't surprise me again, because even when you looked at like how they were marketing this film and going hard with the promotions and even like doing the whole like going to those like the Comic-Con stuff over like in Brazil and Mexico. So it was clear to me that they were also trying hard to get that international audience, So if it did a little bit better, edges out a bit better than Man of Steel, then again, doesn't surprise me. Again, though, we're also still talking like this movie was promoted way harder than Man of Steel was. That's something to consider. Like when you're looking at the marketing that went behind this film, it went way harder than Man of Steel. In fact, me and you discussed this last time. This actually, and again, the reason I mirrored this more to BVS after our discussion was because of that. I was like, this film, in many ways, represents more what BVS was in its time to what this film represents now, where it's at, right? Like in the sense of like they clearly, like I hadn't seen any marketing this strong since BVS. BVS was the last DC film that was marketed this hard.
Hard, yeah.
And so again, once I saw that, I was like, okay, they're really trying to push this forward. Now, granted, again, that you can give credit where credit is due. They clearly needed that. That, right? Because I don't think this film would have done as well if they would have just left their marketing team where it was with the first rollouts of promotions that they were putting out. I don't think we would have seen the same numbers. I think the fact that they pivoted, went harder, started showing things that people actually would be interested in seeing, as far as like action sequences and just like, all this like crazy amazingness. And then more, I guess, of his comedic things throughout that. Look, there's a fan base for that. That marketing went hard. I mean, you're talking about the Dairy Queen. Like, look, I don't go to Dairy Queen, but people do. You know what I'm saying? So they had, I
got a couple Blizzards.
Right. They had they had the Old Spice deodorant. Like, they were going hard. Like, that's a fact. Their marketing team went hard.
They spent some money on this.
I hadn't seen a rollout like this since BVS.
No, that's in real time. Like, because that's what I was thinking. Like during Black Adam, because I was really pushing for Black Adam at that time. Right. It didn't have this rollout. The Flash didn't have this rollout.
Which again,
Matt Reeves' Batman didn't even have this level.
It didn't even have the same rollout. Which kind of on a personal level that bothered me a bit, because I'm like, it just sucks. Because honestly, I felt like Black Adam should have had a rollout like that. I felt like you know what I mean. I feel like Matt Reeves should have had a rollout, like because
you know how I feel about Black Adam. I tell y'all.
Oh, like, y'all know.
For sure. I wanted that full rollout.
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's not that I think, and obviously you know where I stand with Black Adam, but I still feel like,
right.
You know what I mean? I still feel like that was a pivotal moment. But again, all these other films for DC, it's kind of, it bothers me because it's like you see it reveals really and truly where I guess the higher ups and those in charge really stand with the brand, and if that wasn't clear by now, like, before now, it should be clear now. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get into that.
This is where we're at now.
Real quick, Agent 47, he said Guns, Batman, Superman needs poop jokes to him out. Agent 47 is funny. He's funny out there. But let's go again. As far as in your opinion, Vega, and I'm just asking this question just for because it's a live audience. But like, what does this tell you with Warner Brothers and pushing influencers like this? And you got a couple accounts right there trying to push. Hey, this is bigger. This is the biggest Superman film ever. Again, ignoring Man of Steel.
Right.
The numbers is there.
Right.
And I know people talking about, well, the international numbers did this. It don't matter. Start home first. I don't give a care. Someone told me on timeline talking about, France did this. All of the France. You ain't helping me get $1 billion. Just be real, okay?
Just keep that a buck.
Do your thing. We're talking about domestic, and I may talk about China.
Right.
After that, that's where in Brazil. Shout out to Brazil because they are big DC fans. Yeah. That's where it stops. Okay.
That's it.
Any other country outside of I don't got time to talk about what did France do? What did India? Shout out to India.
Much love.
Shout out to India. But we're talking about billions. We're not talking about a couple millions. We're talking about billions.
Yeah, we're talking about the bees.
Okay. So just be people in the chat saying, well, this country did this. Much love to you. It starts domestic. Right. China, Brazil. And I'll give UK some love. But
UK.
That's where it stops. Yeah. That's where it stops. Like, relax.
Let's chill out.
Right. Domestic, it did well. So, to be quite honest, out there, if China bombs, all they want to know is domestically, did it do well? And it actually did. I'm just saying. So we gotta get past that conversation.
Yeah. Let's
the numbers, y'all.
It did its numbers. It did its numbers for the opening weekend.
Let's go forward.
Let's go forward. Like, and then that's all we can do. Like, in the end of the day,
in France it did this, bro. All of the France.
Hey,
all of my France followers. I don't give a fuck what you did in France. Okay? It don't do nothing for the numbers. I'm just letting you know. Okay, sorry. Let's move forward. Let's go forward. Again,
shout out to
is it about they're trying to? Are they trying to win the headline? Is that what this is, though, Vega? It's like
it is. No, it is.
But
this is this is what it is. And what's sad about this is it's more that to me it's like this is them clearly now taking the book out of a page out of the book of what Disney and Marvel does. Disney and Marvel does the same. They've been doing the same. Where they like, let's control the headlines, let's control the narrative, let's make things seem as what they not are. And matter of fact, and it's them that honestly I would argue even probably paid for them to I think before James. I think what's going to be interesting to see now, and this is what I find interesting, right? Is this movie so far from what I can tell, like again, just it has a lot of the things that people were complaining about supposedly, like all these critics and all these, and look, I don't give credit where credit is due. There's actually some critics that are kind of surprising me. I'll say that. There are some critics out there that are surprising me that I'm like, okay, I don't know if they finally got back their integrity and now they're actually, speaking truth to light. But apart from those selective few, I still find it interesting that the same things that some of them would critique Zack for what he did with BVS, you're not seeing them do that with Superman. And it does the same thing, as far as like you're bringing in a bunch of characters from who knows where without any backstory. And all of a sudden you have nothing to say now. And not that I care. I'm just saying to keep you to account. Those same are not saying anything. And for me, what it looks like, again, and I could be wrong. Right? This could be me going down the conspiracy rabbit hole. But if I'm
again, you haven't seen the film yet, right? So it'll be really cool when you end up seeing it. Or probably on streaming at this point.
When I see it, you will guys get and we'll have this we'll have the discussion of breaking down the film.
But this thing of pushing numbers that is obviously not correct. Again, that's with anyone. Like you got people in the chat saying false stuff. Like I'm against that, and I'm against this post here. Is not giving you the truth. That's
just one of many. This is just one of many. Because I've seen some other guys out there kind of doing the same thing. I'm like, y'all too funny. Y'all are too funny.
Yeah, so that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild out there. We got Keith here saying it shows Gunn has learned to match the marketing of Marvel Studios. I think he's bringing that Marvel flavor. Like it's an angle with this Superman where it's like Marvel Phase 1 or 2
I would,
is
yeah,
what
actually,
Gunn's
I
trying
wouldn't.
to
I don't know
do.
about phase one. I would say more so phase 2 and 3.
Okay.
That's where I'm thinking. Um, just
There's
because,
Infinity Saga. That's what we're
yes,
talking about. Yeah,
yes, yes.
I agree.
I would say that that's what he's bringing over here, and I would say it's what I find, just again, this is a conspiracy theory theorist in me, but I do find it funny though that the same people that were, I would argue, probably in the pockets of Disney too, getting ready to
Uh-huh.
smack down anything that DC was putting out there, all of a sudden y'all quiet, and maybe it's just because the guy at the helm of DC, is comes
Is
from
your
Marvel
guy.
and comes from Disney, and they might have some other forward plan in the future to work together. We'll see. I
Oh,
could
you
be
already
wrong,
know that's
but
happening.
somebody please mark this down. Vegas it's on
Yeah,
this
it's
on this
already
day.
happening.
You know what I'm
You know
saying?
that's
And
happening.
yeah, so
With that crossover. So
yeah,
so again, let's just be very clear again. James Gunn Superman. Hey, you had a good opening.
it had a good
It's
opening.
not. It did not surpass Zack Snyder's Man of Steel domestically. We could fudge international numbers all we want. Okay, if you want to get that headline,
Right,
great,
right.
right? If that's what you want to do. But so, what does this say to you, Vega? That you went through all this, did a reboot, all you want, and you pretty much got similar numbers.
Yeah.
What you got in 2013. Again, I don't want to have that inflation argument. I'll probably argue that tomorrow on Coffee Talk. We
I
don't
mean,
want to.
look,
We don't want
I
to. We
get
don't
that.
want
Don't
to.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
That's not something wrong to consider, right?
It's fair, but I don't
It's a
want to get
fair
into that whole
discussion,
inflation.
but but like it's not
Yeah,
necessary for right now. But it is a fair point, right? I'll give it that.
it could be discussed. Yeah, yeah,
It, it,
but not
it
right now. Not right
Yeah,
now.
just not right now, right? Let's just stick to the topic at hand. And but see, what I would argue then again is my biggest takeaway from this is they're trying hard to match this to Man of Steel. And
Mm-hmm.
again, to me, that's just disingenuous because it's like BVS is a Superman movie. Why
Mm-hmm.
aren't you acknowledging that? Why are you shying away from the fact that your greatest Superman movie to do numbers is BVS? That's just a fact. You're
Yeah.
hiding away from that. And that's the crazy part. And and again, it's like we could talk about, like, let's just say, even if the argument to be made, let's just say, is maybe, oh well, because Man of Steel was the launch of the universe, and so maybe Superman is too. And but Man of Steel necessarily technically isn't, right. It's the seed. Man of Steel was a seed.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a seed planted. BVS was the launch of the universe because it introduced
Mm-hmm.
the other characters that were now in that universe. Okay,
Interesting.
okay, and that's what Superman 2025 is doing. It's a launch of the universe, right? Introducing characters like Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and so forth, right? It opened up. It really opens up a wide variety, which again is another critique I've seen, right? And but like I'm not going to bother with that. I haven't seen the movie. I'll judge that for myself. But I know that
Right.
that's a critique out there, that it's like people feel like whatever. I guess that it's like
Mm.
you're being bombarded with
Hey,
just,
fair question. Like, why?
yeah.
Well, in Vega, you kind of answered it. It's like they're trying to turn the page. This is what they're doing in real time. They're trying to say the past. Let's go forward with this DC universe. That's
Hmm.
business, and I
Right.
get why they are trying to say, hey, this to their investors and everyone. Hey,
Yeah,
this
it's one
is
thing to
better than
say,
Man of
hey, this
Steel.
is good. Yeah,
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 let's go forward.
yeah.
Let's
But it's
say,
another thing to
let's
dismiss what came before it. That's where it's like, all right, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, that's a
You know,
fair assessment right there. And I know again, some certain people are afraid of even discussing that. I say, hey, embrace that. That Man of Steel did that, and this film may have fallen short, but they're saying we kind of did close to what we did with that. Now we got the critics. Can we be fair with that, Vega? Now you got
mhm,
the critics
yeah.
on the side of this new Superman.
Hmm.
And so they're saying, okay, if we were like 5 million short, we got the critics on our side now when Man of Steel didn't have that.
Right.
right?
Right.
And again, we're talking business. We're not talking about. We could talk personal all we want. I
Yeah.
would love for Cavill to do his Man of Steel follow up and do $1 billion,
Hell
right?
yeah.
But this is the reality that we're dealing with, right? And we're
Yeah.
just saying they're trying to go with this film now and saying that we got the critics behind us, so now we could buy some time. Now the
Yeah.
critics are on our side. Now they weren't on our side with Zack Snyder,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's what we're saying right now,
Right.
and that's just what it is, right? With that, we cannot be naive in that. So the next thing I want to throw to you, because we had a long build up with that one.
Yeah.
We got Joe Russo here on Twitter. Now, this isn't the official Russo brothers. So I want to make it very. People thought he was one of the Russo, the Marvel guys. He's not one of them. All right. He's been kind of
You're not one of us.
he's been jumping on this and getting his followers acting like he's one of the Russo brothers. But he is a film guy. He's just not one of them.
Right.
He's not their brother.
Right.
But
I think I've seen some of his work.
He puts a lot of takes out there, right? So let me read this here. I'm gonna get your take because this is going crazy on the timeline right now.
Right.
He's a big supporter of James Gunn, Superman. So let's be clear.
Right.
And he says, "Don't let this Snyder bro narrative fool you." So you already know where we're going with this, right?
Right. We already know. We already know now.
Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, James Gunn, Superman is murky at best. Oh, now the numbers. That's why I did the numbers first. 128 is more than 123. Man of Steel 128.
Period. Yeah.
Right? James Gunn 123. Just be real about that. Now, if you can say, "Oh, we did the same thing and want to do something different," don't say, "Oh, you beat Man of Steel," because you didn't. Okay, you didn't.
Yeah.
But it says here this time the Blue Boy Scout was battling post-COVID marketing, and we're gonna slow walk all this. But I just want to read this. Crowded summer box office. Marvel caused superhero fatigue and the need to earn DC goodwill back. It says, and it outperformed Man of Steel globally. That's that global number I talked about where they lean into the global. My contact said the vibes at WB are good. Now, I will say this, because I do have sources and people know this by now, is that, no, DC, WB, Zaza put the statement out there. They're feeling good. They're like, we can ride this, and they're going to ride this momentum. This is business, right? But let's go back to what he's saying, downplaying Man of Steel, saying against Man of Steel, COVID market, Vega, like I mean, we've seen films do pretty well post COVID. Minefield, Stitch, Moana 2, Inside Out 2, Sinners was a grassroots thing.
Yep.
And so we can't use COVID no more, Vega. I don't know. What's your thought? Don't go beat for beat here.
I think you're right. You're right. No. Look, I know we said something maybe that sounded like it was I guess you could say supporting that argument, but that's not necessarily what we were saying. We're just clearly stating that there is observably there is you can look at the market of cinema and theaters and you can objectively say like it's not the same as it was pre-COVID, and that's just a fact. But that aside, back to now the point you just made is like, no, plenty of films are doing really well post-COVID. We can't use that argument anymore. So like to make it seem like you're battling it. No, you're not battling post-COVID anything. You're just now living in that market. Sure, we're all now living in that market.
That's a factor, but again, we've seen if your film is good or you have the proper marketing, whatever you got to do, it can still pop post-COVID.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I don't want to hear that. I don't think that's again. The point we made earlier was more just the market is different. Sure, for sure. Like, and not that. And then here's the thing: not that it has anything necessarily. Not that COVID has anything to do with it anymore. But it clearly there was a shift. There was a shift.
The market is different, like post 2021.
Yeah, there was, and that's what I mean. There was a shift. What I mean is like it's not that people are still afraid of COVID and so we're still battling the fear of COVID. No, we're not doing. It's not that.
Let's throw this out here too. You had Barbenheimer since COVID. You had Barbie and Oppenheimer. We can't use COVID no more.
We
We can't.
had hold on. We had Tenet in the middle of COVID.
We had
We
Tenet
had
in the
Tenet in the middle of COVID, dog.
You
So
can't
come
use COVID no
on,
more.
man.
You can't do that. You can't do
You
that.
can't do that. You just can't.
And again, I'm saying James Gunn Superman numbers are
No,
what
yeah,
it is.
yeah, it is what it is.
You can parade 120 million is 120 million.
It is 120
We
million.
can't front on that.
No,
But
yeah.
don't say, oh, they were battling COVID. No, don't do that. Don't do that, Joe. So then he says, crowded summer box office. I mean, if you're hot, Vega, right? Like, I don't care your competition. What do you think?
No, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, the fact is that luckily, let's just say crowded summer box office. Okay, whatever. But this does go to that goes to my point of the overall consensus at the end, which is but that's not a point to be made for the opening weekend because this crowded summer box office that you're talking about, the biggest IPs that matter are all coming in. They all came individually in their own weekend, right? So rightfully so, each one of those IPs should dominate their own weekend, with the exception, and again, we have yet to see really, the only one that's I'm not so sure it's as big. No. Fantastic Four is still going to do what it's going to do. I think. Yeah, I think it's going to do its thing, but more like Smurfs, right? I know Smurfs is being talked about like it's some sort of big IP, and it is. It's it is. No, don't get me wrong. It is. It is. You know what I'm saying? It's I'll put it like this. It's not that it's for me. It's not that it's a big IP. I don't think, but it's more so that it is. If there's any film to be argued as probably a more family-friendly film, it is Smurfs over Superman, obviously, right? Like that is probably a more kid-friendly movie.
Smurfs. I'm just saying, like, do y'all know Smurfs' biggest opening ever? It's not going to happen this year. I'm just want to know right now.
No, exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Smurfs is not it's not a big IP like that to me. I don't think it is. But and hey, like, if you're on the side of the Smurf turf, do you think, brother? Like, enjoy that movie.
Because I'm going to cover it when it comes out.
You're going to have to, because I know that was something that was thrown your way. But what I will say is this is that it for sure probably stand the argument could be and it could be made that that's a more family friendly film than Superman is, and I'll give you that argument. Like whoever wants to make that point.
Haven't seen Superman, so this is the angle where because you haven't seen
this is me saying what I know off of
like watching Superman. It is Superman is a family film. I don't know if they marketed it that way. Probably crypto,
but then I feel like
crowds. Like the 2 times I saw Superman, I saw older couples and like the Silver Age thing, the boomers, and and then you got like people like millennials like me, like us in this point, and Gen Z. I'm not sure. You're talking about teenagers to mid-20s. I'm not sure if they're bought into Superman yet, because that would have took it to $1 billion if that audience that pushed Lilo and Stitch, they grew up with that. Minecraft, they grew up with that, right?
Yeah.
That's what pushed those films to $1 billion, close to $1 billion. I don't know if Superman has that boost.
It doesn't. I don't think so. Like I said last time, or one of those streams that we did, I was like, I don't think the Superman brand is as big as we want it to be. Due to the fact that I think DC has lost face with its audience due to its films that it's just decided to, in a sense, let flop, I guess. I think
this one thing with Superman, because the numbers are there, right?
Yeah, it's not so. I don't want to take away from that. Yeah. I don't want to take it from that.
It has maybe it has a ceiling. Maybe Superman has a ceiling.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Batman is up there.
Yeah.
Right. And if we're going to be fair, because I know people are going to take this however they want, but James Gunn Superman at least did similar to Zack Snyder's Man of Steel.
Yeah,
can we be fair?
Exactly. But that speaks more to the fact that that emboldens my argument. And what I mean by that is had DC not dropped the ball, that ceiling for Superman should have been higher, because it would have been that you guys had been delivering on your movies 1, and you guys would have been delivering on Superman 2. that people actually fall in.
Is that speculative though, Vega? Is that speculative, right?
Yeah.
You know, to be fair, right? Again, you know, we always push back on each other, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, is that speculative? Because we saw Zack Snyder's Man of Steel in real time, and it's
Yeah.
the greatest Superman film to me, and it did the numbers that it did. And James
Well,
Gunn
it's the greatest Superman film and the purest Superman film to this date. What I mean by that is it stood alone as Superman.
Mhm.
Again, that's why when we're talking about the new Superman, it falls in line more with BVS than it does Man of Steel, because you decided to accompany him with all these other characters to probably actually help you push your film, because you probably didn't have the confidence to give us a Superman movie. Like just
That's
let's
fair.
keep it a buck.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's
That's
just keep
fair.
it a buck.
Because it is.
Because
Yeah.
if you were truly launching this character Superman as Superman for being Superman, you would have just given us a Superman movie, like Man of Steel, or it didn't even have to be an origin story. Man of Steel is probably the best origin story we would have ever gotten for a Superman, for the
It's
Superman
up there
character.
with Donner for me. Like what
For
Zack
sure.
Snyder Man still is
Well,
up there with Donner.
I give the edge to Man of Steel simply because it's my time, one, and then two, I just feel like
Yeah.
you just can't beat that intro scene to Man of Steel. Like, we've never gotten that, and that to me is what puts it just a slight, that's what puts it above for me for the first
Mhm.
Donner film. But obviously, yeah, the Donner film stands the test of time, right? It is what it is.
Mhm.
But that being said, my point that I'm making is that Superman, if DC, and so to your question, is it
Mhm.
speculative? Of course, part of it is me speculating. It's me,
Right, and that's fair. Me
so
throwing
like, of
it.
course, but like my speculation comes from just the data that does exist, meaning
Mhm.
after Justice League,
Mhm.
they stopped Superman, right?
Right.
And
Right.
the reason I say Justice League is because they didn't have the balls to put Zack Snyder's Justice League on theater.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
now, if
Which
that would
is
have made it into theater,
clearly
then
a better film.
I would have
Yeah.
added that into the conversation, right? Now, granted,
Mhm.
yeah, like that's probably the last film of Superman that we got via streaming, but
Mhm.
that you could argue like that's the best film of Superman, after the a good Superman film, I guess you could say, after whatever. But my whole point is in the big screen, general audiences, moviegoers, all that. The last Superman movie they got was Justice League 2017, Joss Whedon's version.
So Joss, and you had the angle, Vega, because we had previous conversations that
Mm-hmm.
may have tainted the Superman
Yes,
brand to
yes,
you, right? What
100%. So that's
the
my
fact that this is again coming behind James Gunn's coming a little bit behind Man of Steel, and
right.
again, I'm going to make this very clear when I say this
Yeah.
because we're being very like specific what we're talking about, but let's be very real in real time. 120
Mm-hmm.
million opening is very. Feige will be killing for this to happen for
100%.
Fantastic Four. So let's be
100%.
very clear with that because people run with their narratives like nah. But when we come back, we're talking about Man of Steel did better,
Yeah.
and you got BVS, and you
Yeah.
had this trajectory where you were going to get $1 billion every film if you would have
Yes.
rolled with it,
If you would have rolled
right?
with it. Now, so the point I'm making, just to clarify, is again, because I'm not dogging, I'm not give credit where credit is due. This movie did good. It it's you could, again, it's neck and neck with Man of Steel as far as, like, I guess, that opening weekend numbers are
Right.
concerned. What I'm saying is so the point I'm making is not, it has nothing to do with James Gunn. The point I'm
No.
making is Warner Brothers clearly dropped the ball on Superman's IP brand
Mm,
after Justice League 2017. I feel that
mm,
movie tainted the brand of Superman. And then when that's the last film you put on theater, and then you try, and not even them, like, credit to The Rock and his team for wanting to bring Henry Cavill back for that cameo, but like, yeah, that's the best that they were allowed to do, unfortunately, I guess.
yeah.
And so I don't even count that, because it's like, I mean, that's not even, unfortunately, that means nothing with the general, like, with the because it speaks nothing on the character. We didn't see him do nothing. We didn't. There was no storyline that he was involved in or anything of that nature.
Mhm.
So like that doesn't matter. Even the headless Superman that appears in Shazam, that doesn't matter. None of that
Nah,
really matters because the last
Justice though happened.
the last thing we have is Justice League 2017, Joss Whedon's
Yeah.
version, and that's the last thing people remember is Superman. So when I'm saying what I'm
So,
saying as far as like
oh,
the numbers probably would have been better for this Superman
yeah. Mm.
had Warner Brothers actually kept that Superman brand properly alive. You know what I
Mm.
mean? That we
That's
none of
fair.
like this Superman should have done better if Warner Brothers would have actually treated that property well and done it justice. Matter of fact, even if they would have allowed, let's just say they would have allowed maybe even Zack Snyder to finish his vision, and then let's
Mhm.
just say,
Oh,
okay, time for a new Superman.
and well, because Zach would have rebooted it in real time. He would have did the Flashpoint, and
Yeah, the Flashpoint, and then
yeah,
boom, James Gunn Super. Like
do what you
if
want.
things
Yeah,
would have fallen in line perfectly, this Superman film for sure would have been. It could have been the again the
little better goodwill with this film, right?
yeah
I think that's the brand. Now again, let's be clear. Again,
yeah
DC right now they're saying, "Hey, we still healthy because we got 120." What Vega is saying, again, I'm not trying to speak for you, but just what you
yeah.
put out there is
No, go
that
ahead.
this brand could have been better. Like if you would have, um, hey, just do the 214 cut, instead of Justice, right?
Mm-hmm.
In
Yep.
theaters.
Yep.
Then the Zack Snyder's 214 cut. And then maybe that would have treated the Superman brand better than what it's gotten. Because now you are starting from scratch. And hey, like I said, they got their 120. We'll
They
see what
got
it
the
does next
120,
week. Right?
and so like the point I'm making, just to clarify, like, again, is the 120 is good for James Gunn. As far
That's
it's
solid.
good, it's solid. But what it also tells me is probably the same around the same people that went to go see Man of Steel are probably the same people that came to see this film. What I'm trying to get at is that this goes to the point that I made previously, and
Mm-hmm.
that's that even when you're talking about the general audience, and again, I know I said like it's hard to quantify this because we don't really have
Yeah.
the numbers,
Right.
but the fact that Warner Brothers as a studio just dropped the ball on that DCEU and lost face with not just DC fans, but just cinematic fans in general. That's the only reason this film is where it's at. It's back at ground zero in a sense, the same way Man of Steel was when that launched, right?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be here is what I'm saying. It should be higher is what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
should be higher, not because James Gunn's a better director. No, it should be higher if Warner Brothers would have allowed the first universe that they tried to up launch, if they would have allowed it to actually take its course the proper way, releasing
Right.
Zack Snyder's Justice League in theater in 2017, following up with the rest of what needed to come out, it would have saved face with even just the average moviegoer, right?
Mm.
That would have just been as invested in this as much as the average moviegoer is invested in the Marvel thing, you know. And it would even stand to argue that if the break-off point between Zack Snyder's DCU to then go into Gunn's DCU would have been like something like a flashpoint,
Mhm.
that would have been a better transition into a new league than the goofy ass transition Marvel did with Phase 4 and 5 with their new Avengers. You know what I mean? Like what I'm
Right.
saying is DC could have been winning right now. They could have been winning on a grander scale, is what I'm saying.
This could have been bigger. I think
This
that's
could
what
have been
Vega's trying to
bigger. Is my
say.
whole point.
If people are misinterpreting what he's saying, is
Yeah.
that this could have been a bigger opening. Now,
Yes.
again, we because it's the caveat. Because I know there's different angles to this conversation. Is that again, Feige will be killing for this opening for
Yes.
Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Because we're going to see in a couple weeks, there's people who are still saying like, Marvel fatigue. is a thing
Well,
because
now I will say, Superman might have saved them. What I
mm,
mean by that is the fact that DC finally dropped something to like separate the two, right?
all
Where it's
right.
not just Marvel, Marvel, Marvel. It may have actually saved Fantastic Four or Marvel fatigue because we finally got something
Mm,
different. You know what I'm saying? Or finally got the other side of
right.
the fence.
Then we can see what Fantastic Four
And now we
does
can, yeah. So it may have
with that.
saved it. Like
That's
that's,
fair.
just saying.
But these are real things that's out there. Again, the timeline's going crazy all day about these
Yep.
numbers and what Superman is doing. And like I said, I always give credit where it's due. If you put it, because again, I covered films for 3+ years now. With the late great Mikey Sutton, we watched numbers. We looked at the box office. We got exhibitors that he introduced me to that I still talk to today, and they were saying for this past month, Superman's tracking pretty
Mm,
solid. And
yeah.
we see the results. I've been telling people in different chats, they've been doubting me for the past month. Oh, so Abdul, he's a secret agent. He's a secret. Like, no, I trust my sources
you're,
before
the,
any of y'all.
you're the
Right?
Masada. You're the Masada
Because
of
I
the
know,
cinema. You're the
I know some of
Masada of
y'all
the
don't know
cinema.
what y'all talking about with box. I'm like, so I trust my sources before any of y'all. Right? And when they were saying Superman was gonna make money, I believed them because I had that trust with them for several years now. And we see what it's done. We see what it's done because Marvel would love, instead of Captain America Brave New World getting 80 million,
Right.
they would love 120.
100%.
Thunderbolts did
100%.
what, 60, 70? They would
Yeah.
love 120. So
Yeah.
y'all don't know what y'all talking about out there, right?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to put that out there right there.
Oh no!
But
I would even say to that Marvel caused superhero fatigue. I thought that was going to be a thing, a factor here,
mhm,
and then it
a lot
dawned
of
on
people,
me. Yeah,
yeah.
and it dawned on me though again, and this is why I'm saying like this is why I just said what I said about Superman may have saved that fatigue from Marvel. And before the movie came out, like just to clarify, because I don't want it to be like, oh, he's just pivoting because now the numbers are there. No, no, no. When I saw the marketing go hard and all that, I thought to myself, okay, this actually might help the film. Then I thought to myself, you know what, low key, people might actually be excited to finally see a DC film, you know,
Mm.
because it's just been Marvel. And that actually might help Superman too.
You think
So it
that
might not
helps this?
necessarily be a superhero fatigue. It might just be a Marvel fatigue. Like, because
I think that's what it is.
because what is it that DC has dropped lately? You know? And I thought to myself, yo, like low key, that actually that Marvel fatigue, it might be
Mhm.
that, not superhero fatigue. It just might be Marvel fatigue. And
And
that actually
that may
might,
be a different conversation too. But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, for
yeah,
sure. And we see the number again. I go by the numbers. I go by the results only. And we see what Marvel did all year. They're praying. I'm telling y'all, they're praying for Fantastic Four to do what Superman just did.
hmm
So we gotta progress our conversation because a lot of y'all talking in the chat right now saying, "Oh, the Superman's gonna do like the Flash." So y'all wrong, right?
yeah.
Y'all wrong.
Now we're
Okay,
wrong.
so let's
Now
progress.
we're
Let's
wrong. That's it.
progress.
That's
All
it.
right, let's progress to the conversation.
Yep.
DC has a win. I mean, whether y'all like it or not,
They
it
got to win
has
this
a
weekend.
win.
They got to win this weekend
Now
for sure.
we're going to see again how it holds. Again, it's projecting pretty well for the second week. I know that's what you're going to jump to next because y'all been
Mm-hmm.
wrong the entire time.
Yep.
Compared to my exhibitors, y'all been wrong out there. Okay, so I'm just giving it. So nothing y'all seeing is right. So I think it's going to do this. You've been wrong. Oh, so so now what I'm telling y'all is that Superman, according to the projections, is going to have a pretty good hold for the second weekend.
yeah.
Hold on. Now, Feely, do I gotta say it? Do I gotta say it?
Hey,
Somebody's betting
look.
me.
They got to win
Somebody's
this
betting
weekend.
me.
This weekend they got to win. Well, they got to win with where we're at right now, right? Like, look,
We're just
we
talking about
can.
opening weekend. That's all we're
Yeah, just
talking
for where
about.
we're at right now, they won the opening weekend for themselves. That's a fact. Did they win
So you
entirely?
think
No, like
you
we
think
have still
Fantastic
yet
Four?
to see what happens
So in
there.
the chat, I got you, Feely. So in the chat, Superman got 120. Now it could be 125. It could end up being, we'll just say 120 plus.
Yeah.
Are we thinking Fantastic Four is going to match that over or under? Fantastic Four in the chat. Let me know in the chat because
So here's another factor to why I think Fantastic
Marvel
Four
will
might
love
do
this.
good. It might do good. It's open weekend, not because so one, I think Superman may have saved face for it, meaning like, all right, we had a palate cleanse of Marvel with DC. You know what I'm saying? We got a Superman
Mhm.
movie. Cool. Whatever. We'll go see
All right.
Fantastic Four when it comes out. The fact that it's actually like 2 weeks also, I think that's going to help it. Like,
That
so it's
helps
not
it.
the following weekend, but
Yeah.
2 weeks after.
Not
So
like
that's good.
Smurfs. Smurfs getting destroyed.
Yeah,
Next.
yeah, Smurf.
But
Yeah,
no.
Smurfs is
But no.
like, we'll see what
Smurfs
Smurfs
games out
does.
there.
I am, you know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know why people were amping it up as much as they were. Again, I get
Smurfs
it.
gang right here. WS Smurfs gang. It's getting
Smurf,
destroyed next week.
Smurf gang and the Smurf turf. Y'all, I don't know. Y'all. Hey, if it does well, kudos to you guys. You guys called it.
150 would be wild. But Marvel, I'm just saying, if it ain't
Yeah, no, I don't
Avengers,
know. But look, I will say this. Now, maybe the argument there to be made with Smurfs wouldn't be that it's going to have the same opening. Maybe the argument there would be that it does take away from whatever profits Superman could make that weekend.
oh, for
And
sure. For sure.
then I
Yeah.
can give you that argument. That I'll give you. But I don't know if it's going to have the same opening weekend.
150
Or
as far as Fantastic Four, Vega.
yeah, 150. That's the number?
Again, we see, but this is what
Okay, I don't know.
speculating. He's just speculating, but
Okay,
um,
maybe. And this is the
150
point I
for
was going to make
Marvel.
is you might get that. I don't know if you're going to get that. I really don't know, but
That's
you
a high
might get.
number.
That's a lot of numbers, right?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you do get it, again, it's because Superman came and cleansed the palate of the Marvel fatigue, and Fantastic Four technically is going to feel like it's different, like separated from the Marvel universe that we've gotten, even though it's in the same
Mhm.
universe. But what I mean by that is so let's just say, for instance, like Brave New World, those characters, they all come from Phase 3, Infinity
Right,
Saga, like they're coming from that. Same thing with the
right.
Thunderbolts. They're all characters that you know from
It's
that.
from
You
the
know what I'm saying? So
Infinity.
maybe there was a fatigue with those characters. Fantastic Four is a fresh set of characters that come apart on its own, separate from that. So that might help it, in the
But
sense of like,
on the
you
flip
know,
side, Vega, like
yeah.
because it's fresh characters, right? Because this ain't RDJ, this ain't Chris Evans, right? So
But it's Pedro
Marvel,
Pascal. It's Pedro
and
Pascal.
that's a factor, right?
That's
Pedro
it. That's
Pascal
that's
is a huge name.
that's
Like if
it.
Superman
It's a
had a
huge
huge
name,
name,
and he's
right?
hot right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No
and,
pause.
and
He's
we'll see.
because I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it that way. But he's on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
We'll see. Like, does that translate though? Right? Because
right. We
he
still have
has
yet
like
to see.
streaming shows and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, because I always said if Superman had a true A-lister, Nicholas Hoult ain't an A-lister, and he
No, he's
wasn't even
not.
the best actor in in the film. He wasn't even the best actor, in my opinion. I think Corsway killed it. I think, and Brosnahan. I think they ate up that film,
I've heard a
whether
lot
you
of
like
that.
it or
I've heard a
not.
lot of that. You're not the
Yeah,
only person
but
who's heard that.
so if you had like a true star in James Gunn Superman, I think it would have really made more money.
Oh,
Now
100%.
with
100%.
Fantastic Four, Pedro Pascal, we're going to see his box office worth right in a couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. No, I think we will. Again, it's so I think when it comes to Fantastic Four, we're looking at the star power there with Pedro Pascal. I do believe he has that star power. I do believe that. But I think it's that. I think it's gonna be again. It's like okay, this is gonna seem fresh, opposite of episode.
He did great, but I think he got overshadowed all over that film. He got paid the most in that film,
That's sad.
reportedly,
That's
and
sad,
he wasn't the best thing in my opinion. And
man.
I
You know
guess
what's
it
crazy,
was fair
bro?
trade, but he wasn't the best thing in it.
So it's funny. So the same friend that wants me to go see the film with him, he actually thought to himself that this was that Nicholas Hoult did great as
No,
uh,
that's
uh,
my opinion. I'm just saying I didn't think
no,
he was.
no, yeah, no, and hey, I'll say this much though. If I'm gonna be honest about my friend that wants me to go see this movie with him,
Right.
I kind of knew this was his movie anyways. I mean, this is the same guy that thought Multiverse of Madness was a great film. You know what I'm saying? Like he's hyped about a lot of those films. You know what I'm saying? Like he's easily
It's a bad news.
uh you know
Problem.
what I mean? So like even when he was like trying to hype up Superman for me, I'm like, bro, like I told him, no offense, bro. You're giving me your highest praise about this movie.
This year,
Yeah.
this is why, and just to signal this,
It's
I got
gonna
like 10 more minutes, so I got to start
honestly.
writing this down. But saying Fantastic Four tied, this will help Captain Marvel, where it was tied to the Avengers film, right? When the Captain Marvel came out,
Oh, right.
Infinity
Okay. I
War,
was like trying to figure out what he's
and it
talking
was
about. Now I get what he's
yeah, it
talking
was
about. Okay.
tied to Endgame. So Fantastic Four if they get out there enough, again, they got to market this enough. If they're saying, "Oh, this is tied to Avengers Doomsday," RDJ, everybody's coming, then that may help.
Has that
Fantastic
been
Four big
clear
time.
though? Has that been
It hasn't
clear?
been clear. It has not
So
been
that
clear.
then it's not valid because in the
They
end
got
of
to
the
get
day,
out there and do it.
yeah, they got to get out there and do that because at least Captain Marvel, yeah, there was that storyline was already set within the cinematic universe of where she's falling and like where she's gonna fall in line with that, right? So it's like there was already a storyline that was being cultivated, so to speak, within the fan cinematic moviegoer. That when Captain Marvel was now coming out, it was like you knew, like, oh, this is connected to this overall story arc I'm gonna get on the latter end of this Infinity Saga shit.
Yeah,
Where
I think that was a big thing.
yeah, that was a big thing for sure. Now when we're talking
It
about
only benefited.
Doomsday, I'm not sure that falls in line the same way because I mean,
Okay.
and correct me if I'm wrong, still. Have because I'll be honest, I didn't go see Thunderbolts. I didn't go see Brave New World. Do any of those films project anything about that art?
The post credits, in which that isn't strong enough, like Brave New World, it does try to say, oh, the multiverse, and there's something out there that's Doom, that's RDJ Doom. But they don't say it explicitly. And then Thunderbolts directly connects to Fantastic Four, the post credit.
Okay. So that might help it. The Thunderbolts thing might help it, maybe. But it didn't do good. So like,
that's what I'm saying. Before you say that,
how many people actually know that?
Enough of the audience don't know that Thunderbolts directly connects. So Marvel, it's a real thing with Marvel. Because again, and like this comment here, Victor says, "How are people calling Superman a flop?" All I'm saying, 120 million is still 120 million. We can't speculate anything. That makes people seem like uninformed. Like 120 million is really good.
That's a good opening weekend, especially now for the market.
Marvel would kill for that.
Yeah. Again, that's why that's why I said earlier is like, look, on whichever side you fall on, whether it's whether it's
the numbers are the numbers, y'all.
Yeah, the numbers are the numbers. Whether you're hyped for the film, whether you're not, the numbers are the numbers.
World Rebirth did 90 opening weekend. Now people say, oh, it opened up Wednesday for July 4th. Yeah, it did. It opened up early. But when we talk about box office, we talk about Friday through Sunday.
But I will say
though, did 91 million.
I will say though, for what it did make, considering the fact that they lacked in marketing, I'm still impressed. Impressed.
No, Jurassic World, the IP did great. But what I'm saying, like, we're doing apples to apples here.
But if apples to apples, right?
If you said 120 opening weekend is bad, then you're saying Jurassic World 91 million is bad.
Yeah.
So you can't.
Well, maybe that is what they're saying. Oh, and let us know in the comment section if that's what you're saying.
I'm pretty sure they're not. I'm pretty sure this one person is not. He's trying to spin this like Jurassic World in France somehow makes it better than the domestic. I'm sorry. It's America over everything. I'm sorry. I hate to be that guy. Okay? I hate to be that guy.
An American.
Coming to me out to India. Y'all do your thing. It's America over everything. Okay? Let's just be clear. Let's be clear about that. Don't quote me some international numbers. And we ain't even messing with China with box office right now. Do what you do, but we ain't even worried about China for the last 2 years. Y'all don't know though.
I do have a question for you. How do you think the movie's going to do in China?
Superman is not tracking good. It's not tracking good in China. They're picking the dinosaurs. They like their dinosaur films. Over there, and I think it's pretty explicit. But the thing is, I throw out there to people because again, they want their agendas. The biggest films like Lilo and Stitch, Minecraft, Moana 2, Inside Out 2, they didn't all do good in China either.
And they still did good.
So I mean, do what you do in China. That's frosting on the cake.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It's frosting. It's a good frosting. It's like
you take it. No, we're taking money. Like I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Don't misunderstand me when I say we want the money.
We don't want a bland cake out here, but we're just saying.
France ain't determining if I'm a box office hit. I'm sorry, France. I'm sorry. I keep hearing France.
You're not even the frosting on the cake. You're the decorations that they place.
Y'all like that little, y'all like that little man they put on the cake. Like y'all not even frosting. Come on now. Don't do this to me. But we gotta start writing this down. But
that's funny.
So with Joe Russo here, again, the COVID argument, we're not buying.
No,
Crowded summer box office. Hey, Superman, you got 2 weeks runway. We're gonna see what you do
you
next
got two
week,
weeks
right?
runway, really.
You got
Technically, you do.
120. Now, if you do anything less than 60 million next weekend, then I'm gonna have a whole different stream next weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm gonna give you your props where it's due. 120 is good. Are you gonna hold 50% plus, right?
Right,
Next
right.
weekend? That's what we're gonna find out. But to kind of skim through this real quick,
Yes.
Marvel calls superhero fatigue. Again, this is a different thing. You kind of answered that,
Yeah.
right? As far as DC has always been that counter thing to Marvel, and we see by the numbers, Superman did better than the Marvel films this year.
Now
Because
check this out.
you had people thinking it was going to do less. Go ahead.
Now I will say this. I will say this. And this so all right. This might sound crazy, and again, I'm not. Everybody should know where I stand. Like, look at my T-shirt. This is where I stand. This is what I want. But if again, this is me. This is me trying to understand what I see on the chessboard, right?
Mhm.
What we could see happening, and maybe this was the move all along. Maybe and not that I approve this move, but this could be the move. Maybe the move is it's not about DC and Marvel both eating.
Mhm.
And it could be that now because maybe DC saw that Marvel wasn't trying to. And when I say Marvel, I'm really saying Disney.
Right.
Maybe it's that so actually, let's name the actual companies that matter, right? Maybe it's that Warner Brothers saw Disney wasn't playing fair. Like, oh
Right.
no, you guys weren't about all of us eating. You guys clearly undercut us every time we dropped a movie. So
Mhm.
now our move is we're going to do your movies better.
Mm.
With meaning we're going to do
In
your
theory.
kind of
In
movies,
theory. You're saying. Yeah.
but with more with what you guys can't do. Because your Wolverine and Deadpool, that's where that exists. That isn't
Mhm.
really your brand, but that could be us, right? So we can take your audience from you, and it's not about again for them. It's not about we're going to come with something different. No, we just want you to start failing, and us to just do better than you, even if it means that we're not going to actually fully, I guess, blow the house off. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Because
No,
when
no,
you
for
bring,
sure.
you know what I'm saying, like, because you're bringing in somebody like James Gunn, right? Who clearly knows the Marvel formula, right? He knows how
Clearly
to,
knows. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. He knows how they maneuver and stuff, and how to put their films together. But on top of that, James Gunn, for that matter, also does like the fact that he's in Warner Brothers now, and he can tread waters that he probably can't tread in Disney. Like we can do the more raunchier stuff. We can actually push the needle as far as rated R is concerned. We can throw middle
Mhm.
fingers up with the Green Lantern ring type shit. You know what I'm saying? We can do things like
Yeah.
that. I can do the
Right.
joke.
Disney don't want to do that so much.
You
Right.
know what I
I
mean?
feel you
They
on
they're
that.
very picky and choosy with that stuff in Disney. Where in Warner Brothers, we can do what you do, but without the ceiling of it. And maybe that's what Warner Brothers is thinking is like, yeah, we're not concerned with doing something different. We're just concerned with cutting Disney from under their feet because they did it to us. Back when we had something going on
Mhm.
that was different. It could be
Yeah.
that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? If
No,
I had to,
li-
you
like
know,
I said, to be very clear, as we round this out, because I got to run.
for sure,
But 120 million is 120
it is
million.
120 million. Yeah,
And if it's tracking close to Man of Steel, what Warner Bros. Is thinking right now in DC is that we got, similar to Man of Steel, and it
right,
hasn't beat Man of Steel. Now, globally, you could fudge that however you
right,
want. But
right.
domestically, it has not beat Man of Steel.
No,
And
no.
again, the gate here matters.
Which
I'm
matters? Yeah, that
questioning
no, that
people.
that matters. Matter.
I'm
Did you
questioning people out
did you
there. I don't know what
specify why
country
it does
y'all at.
matter though? Did you specify why it does matter?
Well, this is the biggest gate in the world. You win
Yeah,
here domestically, you get your most money here,
yeah,
right? Especially if you're American based film.
yeah,
If you get a lot of money, let's say you big in China, you're only getting like 40% or less from the gains.
Right.
right?
Not only that,
Business wise, that
yeah.
helps like the headlines,
Right.
but you're not making no money off China.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
You're
I
making
mean,
money domestically.
exactly.
That's
Especially
the
because
point.
it's not only is it American based movie, and whether people want to admit this or not, you're talking about an American based character.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Oh, it's
that,
I mean, Superman, right? Like
you know what I mean?
this
Like
is Superman.
it's Superman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I
So
say that for a reason. I'm saying that for a reason
right,
because it's like if Man of Steel did do slightly better in that aspect on a domestic front,
right.
what does that say about how people are perceiving the character in the very
Mhm.
home court where it matters, right? Superman is like, in a sense, like it's what Jordan is to Chicago. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
That's what Superman
Hey,
is to us as Americans, right?
let's be
Domestically,
real.
what
Yeah,
is it
let's
we're
be
trying
real
like
domestic.
if it didn't do the opening numbers on Man, and then we don't have to get into this conversation, but this would
Right,
be a
right, right.
conversation for maybe another
I gotta
time. And
close
that's
this
that.
like in 30 seconds.
What does this say about
Yeah.
us as Americans that there
uh,
was a slightly less amount of people wanting to go see a Superman movie than there were for Man of Steel? What is that saying
that's
about?
interesting.
I don't know. Just
That
something.
we'll keep that
Something
as an
like that.
open-ended question
Yeah.
as we round this down. Because again, I talk about actual results.
Right.
Not what I want to. I could tell you what I want to happen all day,
Right.
but this film came out did 120. We're gonna see what it does second week. Now, one thing they have is they feel they have the critics behind them, which it seems like it, and so we're gonna see what it does second week. I hate to
Disney moves. Disney.
I hate to do a hard, yeah, I hate to do a hard pause here, but I gotta get going. Much love the Soul Nation, much love the Vega. We're gonna do this. I surprised him doing this live. This was supposed to have been a recording where we chop it up and we throw it out there. But people been talking on the timeline all about this, so I had to throw it out there, man.
I
But
hear you.
your links, I'll make sure your links in the description for
Appreciate
that.
it.
But I gotta roll. I gotta roll, y'all.
No, do you think, brother?
Much love the Soul Nation,
Much
Superman.
love.
We're gonna see next week. We out.
Watchmen forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word, yo, still we need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, still we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in, we need to know. Your thoughts on what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show, let's go.